infinite has levels from infinite to our spirit. This was the vision that I understood when I was doing my master's. And having known that there are levels of reality and there are levels of soul, and the deepest one is our spirit, which is connected to the universe. So it's the same thing. We are all one. This universe is all one. One hurts, the other are hurt too. So as you see, human beings have body, mind, and spirit. The universe has a sky, earth, and the infinite. So in the beginning, once upon a time, that's the story, there was earth. But before that, there was heaven. And this earth was actually made in the image of heaven. You have everything here. The terrestrial, the sky, the earth, the green, all reflecting what we think of paradise as. Then what happened? We thought we own the earth, we can do whatever we want with the natural resources. The sun would rise, the sky would not fall, the rain would fall, the flowers would grow, the grass will be as usual green. We forgot that we are protectors of the environment, we are protectors of the earth, we are not abusers, we are not predators, we are custodians, not exploiters. So more you take out from what has been given to you as a protector and custodian. जब हिफाजत करने वाला चोर बनेगा, you won't be keeping that person as the guard. So we were the guardians, but we have fallen short of that. Schimmel Sanders from George Washington's University, great scholar on comparative religion, science and religion, says that long before the crisis in the environment started, it had started in the human soul. Why? Because we started thinking that way. The earth doesn't matter. Human beings need to develop and keep progress as their goal, and there comes what has already been mentioned, and we learned within decade that development is not alone, the development has to be sustainable. So what's happening? We have talked about that. Where do you think this river is? Take a good guess. Okay, this is Sawat. Yeah, River Jhelum, correct. This is Sawat. By Mangora, as you go down to the river, you see the sky here, you see the sky there, and this is just before the floods came. Right there on the stones, I was sitting there with my grandson, and we were throwing stones in the water. And within a month, there was no shore, there was no place to sit, the hotels were wiped clean in Sawat. We kept connecting to our friends at Sawat University, saying, we understand, we are there for you. I think it's bigger than that. He said, their registrar, when I called him, he said, I shudder to think right on those stones you were sitting. And many of us do every evening. It's a beautiful spot around the river. And businesses, hotels, the shore, the road, and around that the houses have all been wiped clean. They are paying the price for something which they haven't done. And that is what climate change means. We all pay the price. Before I go to the sky 10 years ago, a sky over our head, here you can't even see clearly through the atmosphere. This is much clearer because this is Lahore during pandemic.
Yeah.
That was when children are early learning, they would say the goodest thing that has happened, it is very clean and there is no noise. That's what. It's true, it was the goodest thing that happened. You could breathe clean air. But do we need a pandemic to know how to keep our city free of pollution. There are solutions. There are other cities who have done that. 1996, a shore of Langkawi in Malaysia. This child who is in her father's lab, my family, is now 29 years old. She is a poet, a writer. By the time she's grown to 29 years, from 2 years, the sky, the air, the earth, everything has been reduced in cleanliness, more pollution. She can't see the stars that I saw as a child. And this is again place, Sawal. What would the child of the child that you saw in the Malaysian picture, this is that child. So that child's child actually. He is now 6. He would love to see clean air falling on him. That's the joy that nature brings us. We don't have that in the cities. But we can still, because we live in the cities, we can't keep waiting for the green areas to send clean air to us. We need the action right here, right now. And action is taking place. So what is it that can be done? But first, let's look at the impact on human lives. And this, I learned in a discussion with the climate activist, the climate policy specialist, and the environmental scientist in my family, my daughter. She said, we've been following up and working how people were rescued from the flood areas, what trauma, human displacement, suffering, the habitats destroyed. What is that? It is coming. It's here, like pandemic. What are we doing? We have to protect the children, the food, the resources, and how that is being done in various places. What do mental health professionals work with? We create awareness, yes. We sustainable community attitudes batate hain. We reward people for thinking of the earth. Even a child in a nursery school these days would not let you waste water if he's going to the right school. वो आपको पहले ये कहता है कि you're washing hands, you open the tap and he closes it. He can't even speak properly, but he's learned that water is not to be wasted. All around me, I live in DHA. Previously, I lived in Punjab University where I taught for 27 years in psychology department. The community has plenty of water because it's a community which runs on government resources. Again, that's a big tragedy of Pakistan, that we think wasting government resources is all right, private resources is my money, right? So, I would see people washing their cars with clean water, not using that water to go into the plants. So all the cycle of the right attitudes, first you learn and then you create awareness. You motivate people for action. You build and sustain hope. Hope is the biggest thing I feel I can give to the next generation, and as a psychologist I give to everybody, not only the people who come to us for counseling, but to everybody. And you show the way with example. So if I wear a cotton sari on my son's wedding, I am showing hundreds of my students, you don't have to spend 3 lakhs on your makeup. Yes, it's a crime in our family to have a caterer, to go to a parlor, to spend on huge makeup. No, we don't do that. And every time people say, oh, it was so cool, what you did. Because I have to lead with example. Yes, it is cool, but I'm not doing it because it's cool. I'm doing it because I have to show by example. And all around, we have to become that example. Show by example. Did you see that?
It is a camera.
Yes, you saw that canteen and that chair with garbage all around it. It's from a major university in Lahore. I go anywhere and I take those pictures and I tell them, you can pick up your own garbage. We had a huge struggle with university students. जहाँ आती हैं वहीं बैठ के छोड़ जाती हैं. Waste is a big part of landfill. Yeah, you're laughing, yes, but I know you're better. This generation is much better. Yes? You agree? आपने पहले नहीं जाया करना होता पानी, आपने वेस्ट इधर उधर नहीं फेंकना होता, ठीक है? पैसे जाया नहीं करने होते. So, what are the climate actions around the world? COP 27 was the latest. COP 27 is the climate summit. Where did it happen this year? It happened in Egypt, in Schimmel. And it has been happening. And the countries come together and they promise. Canada का promise है कि मैं अमेरिका को सीधा रखूंगा. I will tell USA how not to do fossil fuels, not to run gas pipelines through the green areas and all that. Canada tried to do well. Our country also promised. We are doing really well on climate promises. There is climate justice, there is climate action, and there are those promises that all the countries come together and they make globally in front of everybody. So, you know, governments make promises to their citizens, they make promises to the poor, when they want to take, they have votes, yeah, that happens. But when you make a promise to the world, to the creation, to humanity, you've got to, for God's sake, stand by that. USA has not done very well there, right? So, the latest COP 27, you see these kids are saying the seas are rising, but so do we. Young children are doing the climate action everywhere. Their summits, their commitments, their promises, their actions, their individuals and communities, their governments and countries. So we are all in this together. This is a Japanese scientist through Commonwealth universities. On the top are my own students who are making an awareness campaign, and they go around and they teach others climate matters. They are also studying sustainable development goals, which has never been taught in any medical or social science university. We didn't have a course. Even in environmental science department in Punjab University, in this new university, I have more freedom. And I'm older, so I can do whatever I want, even if people were not convinced why medical lab technology or physiotherapist. Yes, those are some of our disciplines. Nutrition people should know about SDG goals. I just put it there. And I said, no, everybody needs to know. And they are enjoying that. They visit sustainable communities. So those are our new university students. We are affiliated with the Fatima Memorial System. So we have the whole medical community learning about SDG goals. These are, of course, you're planting all the time. And this is taken in New York, Manhattan. They were planting plants, the whole community, in their big apartment buildings garden. And I saw the announcement, I went down, and this lady, one is older, one is younger, they asked me, but you don't even live in New York. Why do you bother planting a plant here? But we appreciate that you know about this and that you are planting with us on the soil, and the earth belongs to everybody. Well, the Americans think they are the world, but of course we don't think that. So we are all in this together, and that is always my answer. It's our earth. You are doing a good deed here, and there is a hadith. If there is one day left in your life, one thing you can do is plant a tree. Who is going to sit or eat the fruit of that tree? Well, it's a torch that you carry. So this is small things. What we need to know is कि हमने करना क्या है. Young children and you people can take projects. You can take projects on action projects around you. There's Garden Town. There are all the areas where you live. Go to tree plantation, join campaigns about plastic-free campus, Work, she has already worked. I've also worked with Lahore Conservation Society. Very young chemical engineers, people from all professions, they have devoted their voluntary activities to Lahore Conservation Society. And they're very senior people who have been with that for a very long time. Yes, there is happiness outside us, but if you saw the earlier diagram, I live by that. There is happiness outside, but the true happiness is inside. So we become more content human beings, and we become more giving. What is the remembrance? Remembrance is what is told to us all the time. Remember the one who sent you here, and the one that we go back to. Okay? That's it. It's very simple. So when we remember where we're going, तो इस जन्नत को डिस्ट्रॉय ना करो, आगे के लिए कहो कि कुछ अच्छा हो। हम बड़े कॉम्प्लेक्स क्रीचर्स हैं। होप का ये मतलब नहीं होता कि हर चीज हमेशा अच्छी होगी, लेकिन होप का ये कि करते रहना है डिस्पाइट दैट। होप से हमें ये क्लैरिटी मिलती है कि अनसर्टेनिटी है, but there are still some battles that we join, and there are some that we win, and there are some that we. What we need to remember, hope के साथ सबसे डेंजरस बात ये थी, पेंडेमिक में हम ये सोचने लग गए कि पहले तो सब कुछ अच्छा था. No, it wasn't. Lot of people were living very difficult lives. There were poverty. There was climate change. जब disaster होता है तो पाकिस्तान में तो कौन-कौन impact होता है? पाकिस्तान है, indigenous community है, यूक्रेन में अभी इन्होंने rescue किया है. For the children and families who were starving, not only war but also some of the climate disaster. सबसे ज़्यादा island लोगों पे होता है. तो अब करना क्या है? बचाना भी है ना जाके. One thing Kamil Khan Mumtaz Sahab, who is our guru in Lahore Conservation and Environment, says कि ये यूं जा रहा है graph. You cannot reverse it. You cannot bring it to this level. But we can sustain and keep it. चलो जहाँ पहुँच गए वहीं तक. और उसके लिए those steps, those actions, they do matter. Become enthusiastic about the biggest thing right now. Oh, did anyone tell you that the people with the best earning capital are not the ones who got A star in A-level? No, they're not. So please be happy, because today parents are putting you in a race to get as many A stars as you can. Yes, but be happy inside. Get the right cause in your life. There are plenty of people making money in this society and elsewhere, and in the process not doing the right thing by themselves, their families and the humanity around them. हमारी वो सोसाइटी जो कूड़ा बाहर फेंक के 10 कनाल का घर बहुत साफ रखते हैं, जिनका पानी वेस्ट हो रहा होता है बाहर उन्हें पता नहीं होता. We are that society. So be the person who protects everybody on the earth, not someone who gets A stars, goes on the ladder to success, and then what? I am a counselor. I know the happiest people are not the richest people, or the richest people are not the happiest people, because money and happiness have no correlation. Relationship with doing good by humanity and your gratitude, those are the recipes for happiness. So look after others. इसके जो human consequences है उनको हमने curtail करना है. ये catastrophe है, ये चीज है. We too soon to know what will emerge. We know what can. हमें नहीं पता था कैलिफोर्निया में महीनों fires खत्म नहीं होंगी, पानी सूख जाएगा. I was in Orange County. Water table इतना low गया हुआ था. They were asking people not to even water their plants, but sprinkle them, not to fill their swimming pools. And this is like 4 years ago. और आज कैलिफोर्निया में फिर fires हैं, आपके यहाँ floods हैं. We've done things that we could, and there is always hope. This little fist is grabbing your finger. One day you were this little kid. You held on to that finger with hope. This is going to save me. Are you going to grow up and give the finger of hope to someone who is now growing up? This generation is going to make the difference. There is always hope in this world and in the next world. This is near Kyoto in Japan, and as people from all religions and various societies stood around this mountain, which was Mount Isho, which is a volcanic mountain. It seemed as if we are looking towards the future, and we are looking towards a global community which comes together at heart. Our young announcer said that I was a contemplative. This is contemplation. This is coming together and looking towards what's going to come next in our lives, and that keeps us sober. So that's it for today.